Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video we will be doing a preview for the Samoa Sevens side in the upcoming Commonwealth Games. If you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Nonetheless, let's get straight into this video. So first of all, in this preview, we will be talking about Samoa's fixtures. They are in Pool A alongside England, New Zealand and Sri Lanka. So their first match, it will be taking place at 10:34 PM New Zealand time, and it is up against the hosts England. And that game has the potential of being the toughest one for Samoa. They haven't played any sevens since the Oceania Sevens. It's been even longer since we've seen England in action, but I would call that a must-win for Samoa, because if they want to make their way through to the quarterfinal, they need to be in that top two. And for me, it's New Zealand and either Samoa or England. So that is going to be a big challenge for Samoa off the bat, up against a side with the home field advantage. We will have to wait and see how it does play out, but that is their first game. Their second game will be up against New Zealand. It is at 7:04 AM New Zealand time, so it's quite an early one or a late one depending on how you look at it. We will be staying up all night watching all of the sevens as it does take place for the Commonwealth Games. Then their last game, a nice way to close it out, they will be taking on Sri Lanka. That will be at 10:12 PM on the Saturday. And I think in that game, it could be an absolute points fest, but only for Samoa. I don't think Sri Lanka are getting themselves too many tries throughout that game. Definitely if it means that Samoa can build as much momentum as they physically can heading into the quarterfinals. But looking through at their squad, pretty similar to what we saw for the last leg of the World Sevens Circuit. I do once again like the fact that they've gone with the three co-captains. It kind of splits up the responsibility of those older players. So that is Valvasa Afasua as one of the co-captains, Pilo Maleco as another one, and then Milani Matavao, who has been a mainstay in that Samoan side, and I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. Definitely not with the World Cup just around the corner. Less than 50 days till we get to see Samoa in action. And those games are actually going to be taking place in Cape Town, South Africa, so roughly same time zone as what we are seeing for the Birmingham games. So this is a perfect competition to get yourself warmed up and rearing to go for those big ones in the World Cup. But looking through now at key players for Samoa, there are many players that will play a factor in the way that Samoa play throughout this tournament. But if I had to just pick three, first of all, I have got one of the co-captains. It is Milani Matavao, the man that I was just mentioning. He has been consistently playing well for Samoa over the last year or so since they returned to the Sevens Circuit, and I don't see this competition being the one that he does have a bad competition in, because I don't know whether or not that man can have a bad competition. If he has a bad game, he's brilliant in the next one. If he has a brilliant game, he's normally pretty good in the next one as well. So Milani Matavao bringing that experience to Samoa. I can't wait to see what he can do in Birmingham. Then the next name that I have got on my list of key players, it is actually Pilo Maleco. Now, anytime that you mention that man's name, it's normally because he's running in another try. Just as a clinical player out there for Samoa, and definitely in that game up against Sri Lanka, because we know that New Zealand and England, you would think that they would both be able to get quite a few points. So points differential could actually come into factor when it comes to who finishes in second and third, or maybe even first and second, depending on how the wins and losses go for all of the teams. But having someone who can consistently score your tries can be absolutely massive in a competition where points differential could play factor. And then the last name, speaking of a massive amount of tries, it is Steve Onisai as the last man that I've got there. He has been very handy for Samoa in the recent year, and I always say it, this Samoan side, the fact that they've got so many young talented players coming through the ranks, it's like they've found a new lease on life in the sevens format, because they've always been good Samoa, but at the moment they have the potential of being great, if not the greatest. If Brian Lima keeps on getting them in the direction they are going, I'm excited. And a few of these players, I would think that they will be not just at this World Cup coming up, but maybe the one in 2026. But nonetheless, now we are up to the stage of trying to predict where Samoa will finish in the pools, which could be quite tricky, because this is actually probably the toughest group out of any of them in the Commonwealth Games. We can't all have Australia's pool with Uganda, Jamaica and Kenya. That's all I'm going to say. So in my mind, I'm thinking New Zealand, due to the fact that they have been there before in the gold medal matchup. They've been able to take home gold, so they are getting through in my opinion. But alongside them, it's either going to be Samoa or the home side England. And for me, from what I've seen from Samoa in the last few legs of the World Sevens Circuit, and also from the Oceania Sevens, they did very well in that competition. So for me, I think Samoa will be the side that finish in second, unless of course they do get that upset win up against the Kiwis, which could easily happen. We've seen a couple close matches in the past between New Zealand and Samoa in just the recent 6 months. If New Zealand aren't on their A game, Samoa should certainly be able to take them down. But thank you all very much for tuning into this preview. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to be back doing our live commentary for a majority of the matches when it comes to the Commonwealth Games 7, including all finals matchups and as many of the others as we physically can. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.